Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure when you get in that description box, you hit the link to my new YouTube channel, Green's House, coming up on 3,000 subs. I appreciate that. I just uploaded a brand new interview that I did with a friend of mine, former police officer, canine officer, and SWAT officer, Kenny Souls, talking about how he got started in law enforcement, how it's changed over the years here in California, and his discovery of his PTSD and how he deals with it from day to day. So please check that out, like, subscribe, and share. So we've all heard the crazy stories about the illegals coming here, and I love how they call them migrants or immigrants because it conjures images of Ellis Island or Seattle, Washington, where they're just they're coming here. They're adding all of them are adding to society. That you always hear them say they're paying taxes. And since they want a better life, well then damn it, give it to them because everybody deserves everything that they want. What do you want? The government should give it to you simply because you want it. Don't worry about the legality of it. Don't worry about if what you want to do is illegal or dangerous. Just give it to them. Everybody deserves everything they want. If you want to break into this country, if you want to come here illegally and sap us of our resources, and you want to saddle the American taxpayer with more and more things to pay for, then damn it, do it because we're American. Since we have so much, we have to give it all away. Damn you for working hard for it. There are people out there who are less fortunate, so give them what you have. Period. It's the American way. It's on the Statue of Liberty. Well, guess what, jackass? Simply because it's on a statue doesn't mean it's in the Constitution. But anyway, give them what they want. Give them everything. So I saw something. It came across my radar, and I was like, "Road Raggy? Yeah." New York City wants to set aside $15 million. I'm sorry, $15 million a year for therapy. That's right. These people have come from a long ways away, far, 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 far away. They came up here. They traveled a long way. They left their home country, left their families in some cases, paid those coyotes, came across that border, and were welcomed with a hot meal and a hand job by the American government. So, of course, all the things they've seen, all the hardship they've endured. Come here. Come here, wiggle, wiggle. Here you go. Put the titty in your mouth. Oh, it's okay. So, because of the hardships that they've gone through and are still going through, do you know what it's like to be in New York City for free? That's terrible. So we have to check in on their mental health. And we can take the phrase mental health and throw it on top of the giant garbage pile of other words and phrases that they use too damn much. You know what else is on that pile of stupid words and phrases? Bullying, diversity, equity, inclusion, environmental justice, green, going green, all that shit. Visibility, silence is violence, all that. It's a big pile. It's almost blocking the sun. A giant pile of bullshit words and phrases. Well, go ahead and throw mental health on there too, because I'm sick of hearing that shit. But what happened in New York, KJ? You thought you was gonna have a little cash left over for use? Don't be ridiculous. No, no, no. Any extra money you have needs to go to them. Check this shit out. You think I'm kidding? NYC polls push $15 million plan to provide free mental health services to migrants. They're just migrating. They're like geese. They're just migrating up here. It's natural. It's almost like we're the magnetic center, and they're just being pulled up here. It's natural. Come on, migrate up north. Language is important, people. The Big Apple lawmakers may need their heads examined. This is from the New York Post. So the New York Post is talking shit. You know it's bad. Newly arrived migrants to the 5 boroughs may soon be able to visit with taxpayer-funded therapists to get in touch with their feelings should a new city council proposal become law. The bill would station mental health coordinators in all 218 city migrant shelters and run taxpayers on the low end at least $15 million a year. The proposal introduced last week by council members Lynn Shulam, Shahana Hanif, and Jennifer Gutierrez. The trio failed to get the bill passed last year, but it's a new year. The measure would require the mayor's office of community health to have at least one mental health coordinator at any location where refugees and migrants receive services from the city. Oh, don't forget the word refugees. They're escaping violence and turmoil. Poor things. The locations will include emergency congregate housing, shelters run by the Department of Homeless Services. Could there be a bigger slush fund? Could there be a bigger cash flow that has no oversight than the homeless services? And resource centers that provide various social services to refugees and immigrants, just like the ones coming from Eastern Europe. They got the what do they call it? The bandana or whatever wrapped. Here we go. Hold on, fucking. There we go. They got it wrapped around the face like this. Please, American people, let me and my son Boris into your country. Oh, please. They're just migrants. They're immigrants, guys. Schulman, the bill's lead sponsor and chair of the council's health committee, said the details were still preliminary. Mental health is also part of healthcare, she told the Post several times during a brief phone interview. Many city migrants have been spending their time in some of the Big Apple's finest hotels at full taxpayer expense. It's unclear if the therapist would also make house calls. Despite the city's red carpet treatment, which has included taxpayer funded meals, phones, and prepaid credit cards, migrants have been suffering a raft of mental health struggles since arriving in New York City. We've had many of the asylees break down weeping as they express what they're going through, said Power Malou, executive director of Artists, Athletes, Activists, in testimony to the council last year. Adding that many migrants felt the city accommodations were like detention centers in Mexico. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Why don't you go back to Mexico and check out their detention centers since they're the same as ours? The cost of tending to the more than 175,000 migrants who have arrived in New York City in recent years could balloon to $12 billion. Side note, that's twice the budget of the NYPD, and has already forced drastic cuts to other areas of the city budget. Bipartisan critics in the council said the new mental health plan was a non-starter. $12 billion. Now, they are worried about the mental state of these poor migrants because some of them have broke down crying. Oh my goodness, not crying. You can't have people crying. Did any of you New York? Did you guys break down crying when you saw the state of your city during the sweet and sour sniffle lockdowns and mandates? Your child sitting in front of a computer screen, losing your job? Did you guys break down and cry then? And if you did the city ask for $15 million a year to help you? Did they station therapists outside of your job or outside your borough or somewhere you can go to talk to somebody? Did they care about you breaking down and crying? Were you unhappy with the conditions of where you live in New York City? And did they have a taxpayer-funded therapist come talk to you? What's wrong, New Yorker? No, because they don't give a shit. You are no longer useful. You are obsolete. You're like the T100, the T1000 liquid metal. You're obsolete. You're old. You're antiquated. You're outdated. They got something new, shiny, and brown. It's called the new immigrant. It's called the new voting bloc. It's called the illegal. They are what's important right now. You are passe. You are so 2000 and late. You're like the parent of a tweener or a teenager. You're uncool. Mom, dad, you don't understand. You were never cool. You were just born a parent. You don't get it. Get with the times, man. You're no longer important. That's why they're offering all of these amenities to these people, because they want their loyalty. Because when it comes time to vote, they need them to scratch their back now. They've been scratching their illegal backs, giving them debit cards, finding housing for them, shipping them around the country to various locations. They're taking care of them. I let you in here. I brought you up here. I gave you all of these things. I put you in hotels. I fed you food. Not only did I feed you food, I fed you food that you're familiar with from your home country. Now it's time to pay me back. Now it's time to pull the lever for me. Time to give them some payback. That's why they don't give a shit. That's why they're going to take your tax money and spend it on all kinds of crazy shit. I looked up not too long ago the people who are in charge, whatever council or committee is in charge of eradicating homelessness in Los Angeles, eradicating, and the person in charge made over $400,000 a year. So let's be honest. You have a job that's paying you $400,000 a year, and it could be forever, because as long as the problem is there, you're going to get paid. So you become accustomed to making $400,000 a year. Your lifestyle reflects $400,000 a year. Are you going to stop that flow of money? Are you going to say, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing. We are finally going to eradicate homelessness. Well, if you did, there's about 150 people underneath you who are like, you ain't stopping this gravy train. Choo choo. They're not going to do that shit. They don't live with the consequences of their policies. You think that woman who makes $400,000 a year has a homeless dude shitting on her doorstep every day? Do you think that the people who are supposed to eradicate homelessness, or in this case, help the illegals, you think they're going to do that and stop the flow of illegals? No way. That river of money is flowing fast. They're not going to stop that shit. They don't live with these illegals. They're not the ones getting punched in the face and pushed in front of trains and stabbed and shot and beaten in public. You think they deal with that on the Upper East Side? You think the security with the earpieces and a little squiggly line going down into their collar are going to allow that to happen? No, that shit happens to you. You're going to get pushed in front of the train. You're going to have to deal with that crazy drug-addled piece of shit with piss and shit stains all over himself on the subway. Not them. They have private cars with thick glass and air conditioning and heat. You deal with that. You deal with these illegals. You have your neighborhood stolen from you. You have your quality of life destroyed. You get ran out of New York and moved to Florida or something. There's somebody to take your spot. And who is that? Their new voting bloc. $15 million a year, potentially, for illegals to get therapy. That shit sounds retarded. And of course, here at Jericho Green Enterprises, we do not condone violence against the upper crust. But those who do might want to see something like this happen to them.